It took me a little bit of energy to actually want to make this video right here, but I feel like it's a decent celebration day considering where my portfolios have been able to rise to, thanks to the fact that I've decided to invest in my own basic index fund, which I call Mangoat. Tesla and Apple basically made the biggest headlines, I'll say, this week thus far. It's only 2 or 3 days into trading with the new year 2022. Apple has just become the first company to ever hit a $3 trillion market capitalization. So for all the Samsung fanboys and the Android people out there, yeah, y'all just keep on going with what y'all doing over there. But I decided a long time ago, back I think in 2009, to invest in towards Apple, and I only increased my investments in Apple in 2014, 2015, before that first stock split, and then once again when I was trying to get y'all to consider going into Apple during the stock split. Now, unfortunately, when you talk about Apple, you're always going to have some asshole. Oh, how could you buy iPhones? How could you invest with Apple? They have little Chinese kids, and they're having to put suicide nets around the building because the kids are throwing themselves off the building. Let me tell you something. First of all, Samsung and all the rest of the Android shit is made in China. Samsung's a Korean company, but those phones are made in China in the exact same factories by the exact same people. Nobody talks about that. All the rest of those Android phones made in the exact same place in China by those exact same Chinese children, and they have the same buildings with the same suicide nets. Nobody talks about that. Let me tell you something. If I could get an iPhone 15 with 2 terabytes, I don't care if I have to force Kirk and Spock into a radioactive chamber. You're going to get me that iPhone. I don't care who has to go. So that's neither here nor there. So let me just keep on. Because I know there's some people who act as if they have such high moral standing and that they can only invest with certain companies and they can't invest with companies who've done morally questionable. You're full of bullshit, okay? Let me tell you something. I'll invest in Lockheed Martin. I'll buy the tail fin of a cruise missile with my shares, if need be, just to make sure I get those dividends from Lockheed Martin. So please, just stop. Just stop. It just sounds ridiculous. So anyway, Tesla tried to steal the excitement by talking about how Tesla has made over, I think they delivered like 1 million vehicles during the pandemic, basically. Only downside is most of these Teslas, as people know who pay attention, they've got bumper problems. They've got roofs that have flown off. There was one guy the other day who just strapped dynamite to his Tesla and blew the shit up because he wouldn't pay for the battery to be fixed, and I think the warranty didn't cover it. So I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Tesla's like the one company, as much as I like EVs, that's the one company I can't buy an EV from. I could buy it from Ford. I could buy it from Stellantis, FCA, Chrysler. I cannot buy a EV from Tesla. I just can't do it. Not for myself. For our business, I can do it. Not a big deal. People like Tesla. People are willing to pay more to be shuttled from JFK or Newark Airport in a Tesla. Fine. But personally, I can't do it. Now, a lot of the people who bet on Hertz after Hertz declared bankruptcy, and then they came up and said, yeah, well, we're going to buy a bunch of Teslas and we're going to rent out Teslas. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be renting out Model 3s, maybe even Model Ys, perhaps, because those are relatively cheap cars. They're $50,000 cars. The interiors are like shit. They're like $20,000 interiors, but it's a $50,000 car. So my only thing is, yeah, that's all fine and good, but personally, I can't see buying a Tesla for myself. I just can't do it because the interiors, even in the high-end ones, suck, and the build quality sucks. I'm sorry, it just does. Ford, I trust. GM, I trust. Stellantis, I trust. Mercedes-Benz, I trust. But there's no fucking way. Not from Tesla. I couldn't do it. So anyway, Apple, $3 trillion. I've seen nothing but up and gains on my Apple stocks in both my portfolios. I told y'all to get in during the stock splits. Some of you did. Some of you knew to get in without me. Fine. Then there's what is this? Okay, so this is Apple right here. I think for where's the thing that shows you the month? That's them for the month. They're at 179. Earlier today, they're at 182. That's what triggered the $3 trillion valuation. They are sitting right there at $3 trillion. And for the most part, that's just what it is. Now that's Apple. Then you got Microsoft. If you look at them over the last year, as you can see, I also invested heavily into Microsoft because I knew Microsoft was gonna, come out a winner along with Tesla and along with Apple. I was saying it for a while. I knew Tesla was gonna come out a winner because they have the charging network, and they're gonna open up those chargers to everybody who has an EV this year, and everybody's going to want to get in on those charges. So I already knew that was coming. Tech companies like NVIDIA. NVIDIA is showing off that they have the 3090 Ti. And I have two 3090s in play, but they have the Ti or titanium or however you want to pronounce it. And this is just the housing for it, but the thing about it is it's right around the corner. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I may never even see one because these things are being scalped, but I already have the 3090 and I'm good. And this thing only has like a 3% or 5% performance upgrade. If I can get my hands on one, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to sell my 3090 and I'm going to keep the 3090 Ti if I can get my hands on it. I doubt I'll be able to get my hands on it. I just don't know. AMD and NVIDIA took some losses. Despite the fact NVIDIA is doing so well, NVIDIA took minor losses. So if you look at NVIDIA's stock price and you look at them over, the last 6 months, as you can see, it's nothing but up. But the thing about it is they took some minor losses, so they're down to like 292. But when we were trading at a high before Omicron virus struck, NVIDIA was up here. And over the last 2 months, it dipped from 333 down to 292. Do you think I'm worried about NVIDIA? Of course I'm not worried about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is selling all of their hardware at a profit. All of it. People are desperate to get their hands on NVIDIA cards because AMD cards suck. They suck. In fact, I remember in the old days, people used to talk about how much of a value AMD cards were simply because AMD cards were less expensive even though they had lower specs. They can't even say that anymore because the scalping market has snatched up all the AMD cards and used them to pump cryptocurrency. So now you look at the crypto market. You know what's funny? When I talked about the fact that I have my own index fund that I invest in, Mangoat, Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, Google, oil stocks that pay dividends, AMD, Tesla, Amazon. When I said that, I had somebody make fun of me and they're like, oh yeah, well while you were investing in Manthroat, Bitcoin hit $60. Yeah? Well, what's it at now? And then I will say this, Ethereum has risen, and I'm going to just say this because I already know it's coming. Ethereum's going to probably keep on going up. And the reason why I say that is because of index bias. I really think that a lot of people have given up on Bitcoin, and I think they've moved their sights to Ethereum. The Ethereum network is right now still sucking up most of the graphics cards, and a lot of people are trying to mine Ethereum. There are all these stories coming out about little kids making NFTs and getting rich and shit. Doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. But if there are people out there stupid enough to pay the money, you know what they say, a fool and their money are soon parted. The whole rest of this network, you got these XRP Ripple hopefuls. It's funny, I remember when Ripple was water cooler talk. It was two cryptos back in 2017 that we used to talk about around the water cooler. Ripple and Tron. Tron, as far as I know, Tron hasn't done shit. Where's Tron? Tron price. Tron, as far as I know, Tron hasn't done much of anything, as far as I know. Tron price, what is this, coin market cap? Yeah, Tron is like 0.7637. And since, I'll go to all. Yeah, they had a spike, but since, what is this, 2017, this is where they were when it was water cooler talk. It was at 0.22. Right now, they're like, where are they? They're like down here, 0.0077. So as you could, Tron and Ripple were water cooler talk back here when Ripple was less than a fraction of a penny and all that, and they've pumped it so much until there's a lot of money in it, but the SEC is like fuck that, and they're gonna continue with their prosecution of it. And they're like, yeah, you're not even allowed to buy it. Like, I live in New York. We're not allowed to buy it. You're also not allowed to trade on Coinbase. So people keep trying to go around corners and get it. And to me, that doesn't make sense because the government ever comes after you. It's like, what are you going to do? They've got the proof that you bought the shit because they've got the ledger. So to me, that doesn't make any damn sense. But bottom line is, my index fund is doing great. AMD, NVIDIA, Microsoft, we're doing great. We're doing great. As the dollar does inflate, or I should say, as the dollar itself loses value and prices inflate, that's the proper way to say it. Because a lot of people talk about inflation, but they don't understand it. It's the prices that are growing into the bubble. The dollar just loses its value against the inflation. The dollar is basically being taxed by inflation. That's why the price of all of your commodities are way up. Food is up, oil's up, so forth and so on. So my thing is, my index fund's doing great because my goal is in 10 years when I retire, I want to retire with $500,000 in stocks. And that's it. Stocks that pay dividends for the most part. And I'm going to need that simply to beat the cost of the dollar's decline. Like, I'm going to need that money just like if I want to move somewhere, like another country, and I want to, just retire and suck my pension, my Social Security. Like, I don't want to have to worry about having extra money. So right now, I'm planning at the age of 40, how I'm going to make extra money so I can retire at 50. And that's basically what it is. So I've already explained this. I'm not even going to go bother with it again. But that's basically just where we are. So I just wanted to make a really quick update video celebrating Apple. If you're an Apple stock owner and you own shares with Apple and you're sucking down those dividends, good for you. Congratulations. You did the smart thing. What you didn't do was like Nayib Bukele in El Salvador. What you didn't do was throw your country onto the crap table of cryptocurrency. So I have to wonder, where's Nayib Bukele? Because I remember when Bitcoin was at 55, and he's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin 55, we're going to buy the dip. Where the fuck is he now? I wonder, is Nayib Bukele, are you out there? Because I'd really love to get you for, I'd like to get you for a collab so I could ask you some questions like, excuse me, sir, how could you be so fucking stupid as to put your entire country on the crap table? Because he bought the dip with his nation's money. Supposedly they gave everybody like $25 worth of Bitcoin, and that was at Bitcoin 49 or 50,000. They're down. Like, if you're an El Salvadorian farmer or you're starving there, you don't need no fucking cryptocurrency. You need a sandwich. Somebody get that man a sandwich. I remember all the people I had to argue with about Cardano. And I know all these people having Shiba Inu parties. Oh yeah, we got to pump Shiba Inu to a penny. It's like, guys, let me tell you something. Russia, America, and China could probably pour all of their money into Shiba Inu, and that shit still wouldn't hit a penny. In fact, considering I think it would take like $10 trillion to get it to a penny, I don't think that's going to happen. And it's really a shame that the market cap right now is $17.8 billion, and it's still this low. I can't even imagine. Will I ever find out how many people lost money to these Ponzi schemes like GameStop and like AMC? Will I ever find out how many people lost their life savings to motherfucking Dogecoin? Will I ever find out? I don't know. I don't know, because I remember even with Dogecoin, there was a guy who supposedly made a couple $1 million when Dogecoin hit, like, Dogecoin was at its highs. And the guy said, fuck that, I'm not selling ever. And I'm like, dude, if you weren't going to sell at 74 cents and you're worth a couple of million, then my question is, what are you doing down here at 0.17? But all of this is bullshit and cap. That's what this whole market right now. And I'll say it like this. A lot of people, Stephen Graham, to name one, keeps on talking about how there's going to be a stock market crash. Let me tell you something. If they could have an Omicron crash and the Dow only dips like 1,000 points or something, but it's right back up, because right now the Dow is back up. The Dow is back up. Like, I can feel it every single day. The Dow right now, the Dow Jones, what is this? The Dow Jones is at 36,799. And I said this a while ago. Look at this shit. Look at this. Oh yeah, well, we gotta have a stock market crash. And then he plays the theme song and the effects. And people take this shit seriously. I'm like, hey guys, why don't you look at the history of the Dow? This is the history of the Dow. This is just since 92. If you look at the Dow Jones stock index history, if you look at the entire history, this shit has basically been nothing but up. Even with 9/11, even with the 2008 crisis, it was like, yeah, it dipped like 800 points or something in one day. This shit has been nothing but up. I mean, look at this. Since, like, what is this? 02? This is where it was in, what was that? What was that? 1902. Yeah, this is the Dow. The Federal Reserve has expanded the money supply, and it's been nothing. It's basically been nothing but up. Now, obviously, yeah, there's a huge dip right here, but if you bought the dip, you're up here, and then you kept on going up. You kept on going up, and if you look back to, like, what is it, like 91, like 9/11. I mean, yeah, that was probably right there. That's the dip in 91, and then if you look to 2008. What is this? This is 06, 2010. So this must be 2008 right there. But this shit has been nothing but up. So my thing is, it's like, you have a golden opportunity. And my recommendation, you buy these index funds, you buy these, the S&P 500 index funds, you buy, you can pick an index fund that's tech heavy, especially with the tech stocks I've mentioned. And right now, I mean, you see, here's the problem. Too many people, and this is where I'm going to stop, because it's 18 minutes in. Too many people want to get rich quick. Half you motherfuckers have no idea what you're doing. You're gambling. You have no idea what you're doing. You think that if you listen to one of these goddamn gurus who's lying to your fucking face, you think, oh yeah, well, I'm going to get rich quick. I'm going to be driving Lamborghinis and Bugattis by tomorrow. It's like, guys, that shit's not going to fucking happen. The best you can hope is to hold on to those stocks and hold on to it for about maybe 10 years, 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and to be able to get dividend payments and reinvestments, and in order to get maybe even a rise in some of those, because some companies, they ain't going nowhere. Apple's worth $3 trillion. They ain't going nowhere for a long time. Samsung sure as hell ain't going to stop them. And my thing is, the best you can do is hope for long-term stock game. I know it's slow. I know you want to get rich quick. I know you want to drive Lamborghinis. I know you want to be able to fly to Dubai on business class Emirates Airlines flights and take your girlfriend to Maldives or Seychelles or Thailand. I know that's what you want to do. I know that so many of you want to be able to buy a Hellcat, or you want to be able to buy a Trackhawk, or you want to be able to buy a Ram truck, or you want to, I know that's what you want to do. But guys, let me tell you something. Chances are that's not going to happen. So you need to refocus your efforts on long-term, stable, traditional investments, because if you keep fucking with this get-rich-quick shit, You ain't going to no moon.